Dr. Augustine Larmin and his principal deputies. So Dr. Augustine T. Larmin, Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of National Defense, has just arrived. That's the arrival of Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. We are still waiting the arrival of the Acting Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Johnny Tapper. He has just arrived in the hall. So sticking still with us, don't go away as we bring you full coverage of MICAT regular press briefing. Keep following. So the moderator for this program is Lawrence M. Family. He's the Acting Assistant Minister for Information Services. Keep following.
Let's have it quiet, please. Thank you for joining us. The senior police of the media, our esteemed guests, I'd like to welcome you because today is the first time in the refurbished Charles Beyond Press Hall. For coming, it is here we broadcast the regular Tuesdays and Thursday press briefing. Today's press briefing is presided over by Liberia's Deputy Information Minister, Honorable Daniel Sando. Mr. Sando is the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. Mr. Sando is in the hall with the Acting Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Johnny Tapper. Today we have with us Honorable Dr. Augustine T. Larmin. Dr. Larmin is the Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of National Defense. After Minister Sando does his housekeeping, the Deputy Minister will provide some updates to the presentation focusing on the upcoming Armed Forces of Liberia recruitment process, the renovation of the AFL barrack nationwide, border patrol in bombing Buffalo, Grand Haven counties, one of the operation through Guardians, and many other issues. I want to encourage you to sit up for the presentation that will be done by the Deputy Minister for Administration and Ministry of Defense. Someone who has been at the Ministry of Defense for a very long time of experience. He was a consultant for Mareva at the Ministry of Defense. He's back there playing a role and head of human resources. And so let me now invite my boss, who has the statutory responsibility to officially introduce to you our guests after the housekeeping. Mr. Sando.
That was the voice of Lawrence M. Family, the Acting Assistant Minister for Information Services, and his State Director of Press and Public Affairs. This is Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs.
Good afternoon to all of you, members of the Folk Estate. Good afternoon to our compatriots who are following this issue of the press briefing via the radio stations, community radio stations, the state broadcaster, and those who are following via the internet as well. It is always a pleasing duty and an honor. It's always a duty and an honor for me to be here with the support of all members of the senior management team of the Ministry of Information, keeping this platform alive as the premier communication channel for the government of Liberia. So this is Tuesday, the 30th day of September, the year 2025. And today we have one of the entities of the government that is not in the business of running the activities in the public. The Ministry of Defense, even though there's an administrative aspect of that ministry, but we all know the Ministry of Defense is considered Australia's whole business. But they have come to talk about some of the activities that the ministry is undertaking, and the Director of Press read through those activities. I would just want to lay emphasis on them. The upcoming recruitment exercise for the Armed Forces of Liberia, the renovation of barracks across the country, border patrol in several counties including Bombing, Bapolu, and Grand Cape Mountain, one of the teams, Operation TrueLiberia. And you also follow, some of you who follow social media lately, you also follow that the AFL is in the Sako National Park, an area that is supposed to be a reserve, but there was some intrusion, and people were carrying on all sorts of activities in the Sako National Park. So the AFL intervened, and I'm told order has been restored. So they're here to talk about all of these activities. On behalf of the senior management team, the acting minister, Honorable Johnny Tapa, I'd like to welcome you, Dr. Augustine T. Larmin and your team, to the Ministry of Information. I know when you entered the ministry, you were impressed and said that this place has been transformed. Well, this is what we do. When we're speaking for the government of Liberia, we can't speak from a filthy and dilapidated building. So, with the legal resources that we receive from the government of Liberia in support, we are bringing this place up to standard, and I want to appreciate you for the commendation that you made to us in private. Usually, before we invite you to speak, we'll do some housekeeping for the government, and so I will now want to proceed, asking for the undivided attention of members of the press as we go through what we have here. Today is a very special day for all journalists in the country. The umbrella organization for all journalists, the Press Union of Liberia, is celebrating its 61st anniversary. Last week, we had the president of the PUL here, and he spoke. His presence here is a testament to the collaboration between the Ministry of Information and all journalists in the country. So I'd like to seize this moment to now announce, on behalf of the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Information, that we extend warmest congratulations to all members and officials of the Press Union of Liberia as they celebrate the 61st anniversary of the Press Union of Liberia. We are also told that the anniversary is being celebrated on the theme commemorating our past
constructing the future. MICAT congratulates the PUL for its long-standing tradition in working with the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Information in upholding press freedom. The government reiterates its unwavering commitment on this 61st anniversary of the PUL to continuously work with the President of Liberia in upholding and creating an enabling environment for media sustainability and freedom. On behalf of the entire government, the Ministry of Information wishes the PUL happy, prosperous anniversary. As you are already aware, His Excellency President Waka and delegation will arrive in country this evening at 5 p.m. after a successful conclusion of his official visit to the United States of America. While in the United States, President Waka actively participated in the 80th section of the United Nations General Assembly, at which time he held bilateral and multilateral meetings to mobilize support for Liberia's development agenda, and later launched the Liberia Diaspora Conference, which is intended to rally all Liberians abroad to remain engaged in the national developmental programs. Upon his return this evening, the President will attend an intercessory service in his honor at the Life Center Church on Bensky Avenue, Lower Martin County, along the Monrovia-Raboshi Highway. Now, for all of these announcements, some of our friends who see everything as politics, so the government is paying people to go welcome the president at the airport. It just doesn't make sense. I cannot call on them to stop, because that is a way of life, to politicize everything. Yeah, we are running a government. We are not in competition with anybody. The president is returning to the country. And all we said was that we encourage well-wishers to turn out to the service and to welcome the president. How does that amount to mandating people to vote in? And one thing I've observed in this country at this point is that comprehension is now a problem for so many of our friends. Maybe because their sense of reasoning have been blinded by politics. The president is the leader of the country. My good friend Johnny is the acting minister. When the president returned to the country, the media people were supposed to go in the airport to speak to the president. So Johnny should stay back. She didn't go there. She didn't carry the press go there. But that will be denying the Liberian people the opportunity to hear from their leader. When we go in the airport, the chairman will ask the president, Mr. President, I'm Chogon Flaman reporting for DN News. Mr. President, we heard that you had bilateral with the Kuwaiti representative. What is in the bilateral? What came out of it for Liberia? Liberians will be listening to know what is said to benefit. So, every attempt to politicize every move in the country, it's not working. It's unfortunate for some of our friends who are living with the illusion that every day as of January 2024, moving into 2029, are politics. It's just unfortunate. So I'd like to set the record straight. As a government, no mandatory turnout at the airport. Everything you're hearing on social media that the government is doing this to care for the airport, President Bouaga is not in a competition with anybody. He is the president of the country. He's coming back to the country after being away for a week and a half. Of course, we need to take the journalists to the airport to speak with the president. When has it begun wrong for an intercessory prayer to be organized in honor of the president? You listen to the radio every day, there are terrible things happening in the skies. If your president left the country, travel out, and is coming back and arrive safely, what is wrong going to God to say thank you for bringing our leader back safely? This thing about being political or everything is just a law. That being said, the Ministry of Information notes a report released on yesterday by the Special Committee of Inquiry set up by the President of Liberia to investigate the incident that unfolded between the Minister of Information, Honorable Jeremy Mapupia, and one Franklin Dolokwe, who is supposed to be the correspondent of Front Page Africa and OKFM. As a ministry, we note that the report clearly states that contrary to what was initially reported by Front Page Africa and OKFM, that Minister Pierre did not assault journalist Franklin Dolokwe. It was erroneously written in two statements issued by Front Page Africa and OKFM. I read that again. As a ministry, we note that the report issued by the Committee of Inquiry established that Minister Pierre did not assault General Franklin Dolokwe, as was erroneously reported by both OKFM and Front Page Africa. The report goes on to establish that there was no evidence of physical assault. However, the report said that the minister's tone of voice was intimidating and constitute coercion. Mr. Dolokwe reported the incident to OKFM and Front Page Africa media outlets, which he corresponds for in Nima County. It was followed by condemnation, baseless condemnation from the two news outlets. Regrettably, OKFM and Front Page Africa failed to formally complain to the PUL before releasing statement and publishing stories against Minister Pierre, the report noted. They also indicate that Front Page Africa and some media outlets published a story without contacting the minister. While the findings brings to question ethical transgression by FPA and OKFM, as a ministry, we want to urge them all, including all media houses, to always stick to the ABC component of journalism, which will require you as a journalist to always verify the story by contacting all sides before hastily publishing or airing news that tend to erode the credibility and independence of the very media outlets we report for. We warn that sensationalism in news reporting is a thing of the past and does not have a space in the new Liberia we are building. So, somebody is corresponding for you. They call and say, I was assaulted physically. Without delving into an investigative mood to establish as to whether the information being provided is balanced or accurate, you publish a story. And as I have always said, that there are people here monitoring the activities of the country. A few days ago, we were arguing about the U.S. State Department report. The presidential press secretary only requested individual who applied to cover the presidency, say, please bring us your police clearance. Some people said, some people got vexed, and they said that she was trying to censor the press. We wrote a story. The international people who sit at the Bureau Embassy, they're not going to ask you whether what you wrote is true. They assume that you are sticking to the ABC component of journalism. So when the U.S. State Department report came on Liberia, they indicted the press secretary and said she was censoring the media. Sometimes you overlook what you write. But what you write comes with magnitude. So it is really good that you balance a story. There is a minister of information, somebody who has signed dossiers or permits for new media institutions, somebody who is a friend of the media, and he's accused by a correspondent. You don't call him, you don't balance a story, just publish a headline. Minister of Information has sought Front Page Africa reporter. That news headline is spilled milk or water. Once it is spilled, it cannot be recollected. So now the parent body of all journalists here, all the media institutions, they investigated. They would like to commend the period. We commend the period that unlike in town past where people will try to use the microphone to blackmail officials of government, the leadership of the period has distinguished itself. This leadership. And they are now saying that their own memo was involved into ethical transgression. It's laudable. So let the report be used as a stepping stone for young journalists and media owners. You have to compel those who report for you, those who are in your employ, compel them to stick to the ethical requirements of the profession. I will not say more. On yesterday, the Liberia Legislative Corporation LC announced the commencement of the 12-week project to electrify the RRA highway corridor with high-quality street lights. The initiative runs on September 29 and is expected to be concluded with commissioning in the second third week of December 2025. It is intended to improve road safety for travelers and enhance visibility at corridors leading to the country's international airports. To ensure timely completion, 5 contracting companies have been assigned to specific lots across the corridor. Procurement of poles and materials for the project has already been finalized, and shipments are arriving in the country. Civil works are now on the way, with mobilization activities actively in progress. The management of the LDC emphasizes that once completed ahead of the festive season, the project will restore vibrancy to the ERWA-RIA corridor, which serve as a gateway to Liberia's international airport. The lighting system will provide a safer and more visible roadway for travelers, particularly during the nighttime hours, benefiting both international travelers and commuters of other countries. In addition, the LSC is undertaking ongoing electrification works in 2 rural communities, Dangoma and Zololi towns in Lima County, on the CLSG Rural Electrification Project, which is funded by the African Development Bank. The Liberia Electricity Corporation noting that these towns, funded more than 40 to 60 years ago, had never before experienced electricity. The project covered 37 rural communities with more than 10,615 households expected to benefit. As part of the rollout, 1,500 streetlights are being installed, while customer metering is ongoing in 18 communities already energized. The LEC grid, once completed, will be managed by Jungle Energy Power, with MDH Power serving as the project implementer. The CLSG grid project seeks to connect rural communities and improve the quality of lives across 4 counties, including Lima, Bong, Grand Bassa, and Riverside County, to a 3-kilometer stretch of transmitter lines linking Victor, Botota, and Buchanan substation. Yesterday we witnessed the LDA taking receipt of some vehicles. I want to confirm that the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has received a major logistical boost in fulfillment of government promise of providing more vehicles to that entity. They include 12 Toyota Hill pickups, Toyota Land Cruiser, 2 Toyota Land Cruiser, 1 Toyota Fortuner. The vehicles are intended to enhance the LDA nationwide operations in the ongoing fight against the proliferation of illicit drugs across the country. Authorities at the LDA inform us that the new fleets will strengthen mobility, improve response time, and expand the agency reach in communities most affected by the drug crisis. The donation of the vehicle is a clear manifestation of the government's commitment to supporting law enforcement institutions in tracking drug-related crimes. The leadership described the initiative as a decisive step towards building a safer and drug-free Liberia. The Liberia Civil Aviation Authority has opened discussion with senior Egyptian aviation officials on expanding air connectivity and strengthening bilateral cooperation in the aviation sector of Liberia. The talks held on the sideline of the 42nd International Aviation Organization General Assembly in Montreal brought together LCAA representative, Egypt Minister of Aviation, and Captain Ahmed Azakaru, Director General of Egypt Civil Aviation Authority. The central focus of the meeting was the possibility of Egypt Air establishing direct flights between Liberia and Egypt. Such a route will significantly boost connectivity, trade, tourism, and diplomatic relations between the two nations while reinforcing Africa's intracontinental aviation link. I'd like to start here and now invite the Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, the Ministry of Defense. I will speak to you and then we'll entertain questions from all of you. Thank you.
So that was the voice of Honorable Dana Utesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. This is Dr. Augustine T. Lehman, Deputy Minister for Administration of the National Defense.
General George, she's retired now. Who have been here today, but she's not here, she's traveling. So she have asked me to do this presentation on her behalf. And also bring you greetings from my officials, including Central Administration, as well as the Armed Forces of Liberia, headed by General Davidson Follett. Before going forward, I would like to thank my colleague, the guys from the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism. Most especially Jeremy Pierre, who's not here, the Samuel and the DMA. I will defend them, because it's awesome in here, once it's awesome, it's good in here, and I love to be here. Finally, let me commend you. I learned that PUL celebrates 6 decades, and that's great. I think you guys are great people. The media is great people. Having to survive 2 generations, 60 plus 1 is not easy. So I commend you for all of the services you run in this country. I thank the PUL and happy anniversary. So on behalf of the Ministry of National Defense and the Minister, General George, we say happy anniversary to the PUL. Now we'll move on to the press conference. Like the previous speaker said, we don't do much talking, we believe in action. So you don't see us here constantly. And I hope that this conference is going to be brief, except that your questions will make it more longer than that. We've already told you, our briefing today centered on 5 major issues. We started with recruitment. And you are aware that since SSR, we had a first recruitment, and we had another recruitment in 2021. The Armed Forces of Liberia needs to increase our numerical strength. Predicated on that, the Commander-in-Chief, I will call it CRC for this press conference, has approved recruitment exercise for the Armed Forces of Liberia. So recruitment starts in February. We're going to recruit in February. Our target is 650 people. The process is very clear. You have to be a Liberian between the ages of 18 and 35. You must be a high school graduate, of course, and you must pass a drug test. You must pass that test. You must bring with you a police clearance. There are other physical tests that you get to know later on. This recruitment process is going to be nationwide. Nationwide means we're going to go from county to county. We're going to go from city to city to see how we can get the 650 people. Our target is we hope to reach 5,000 as long as the resources can permit. And the target commensurate with our national security strategy, because our recruitment is in proportion to our military strategy, which is a brainchild of the defense strategy, which is also another brainchild of the national security strategy. That's how we recruit. We don't just recruit out of space, we recruit based on our trust level and based on what the laws provide. But like I said, the person that approved the recruitment exercise, and we're going to start beginning this February. So more information is going to come up to you. Keep listening to the radio, media institution as to how the process is going to unfold. We're going to ensure that process will be geographic representation. That is, we're going to pick people from all regions. It's not going to be a recruitment station at one place. So we have geographic representation. It's also going to be general representative. We're going to ensure that the process will have general representation in the recruitment process. So move on to the next one. The next one I'm told the guy, the next one is renovation of military barracks. You know, in agreement made that a couple of months ago at the Edward B. Catholic Barracks, which is the major military institution in this country, is congested. So the CIC has approved about 12 months ago, barely 12, 15 months ago, renovation of barracks that we can decongest our main military installation, which is the EBK barrack in Camp Shufflin. Predicated on that, we have rehabilitated Camp Grant in San Nicola, Nima County. And we have moved our troops in Camp Grant. They are there right now. And just to let you know that the people in Nima County, San Nicola, they were all in the street. Which the troops are met by a jubilant crowd, welcoming them. It shows you the sense of security. That tells you that the people are willing to accept the military as a force for good. We also have a structure in MICAT right here, that's Camp Jones. A couple of buildings. We also have soldiers moving on there. There is Camp Westner in Redwood. That is also nearing completion. We're going to move troops in Camp Westner as well. So this is a strategy to decongest our EBK barrack. As the guys move, you see that EBK will be a little bit more lesser in terms of numbers. That's what we're doing as part of our decongestion strategy. We also do hope to renovate our barracks like Camp Nama in Lofa County, like another barrack in Bobby County, and various military installations around the country, as long as the resources can be made available. And let me let you know that the Commander-in-Chief has given an assurance that yes, he's going to make sure that the resources are available to ensure that we renovate our military installation facility. And this will improve our soldier welfare, their morale, in their entirety. Let's move on to the next point. Okay, this is Operation True Guardians. This operation is the operation that we usually conduct to reassure our citizens a sense of security. How do we do that? We allow the military to patrol in different counties of different regions. So we started out with our central region, as you may call it, Cape Man, Bobby, and Baffalo. That was in June, between June to August. It was 3 months patrol. We had soldiers on foot, and then patrol the borderline, they patrol the various counties. And then along the road, they could collect traps. Along the road, they could see the risks involved along the road, and you see that citizens have reassurance of security. We try to ensure that we keep you safe and protect our borders. And as part of that work is to patrol. And the patrol is just to reassure you that we are here and we're here for you. That's what we call Operation True Guardians. And this operation is going to continue. That was just the first phase I have. It's going to continue as long as we can mobilize the necessary resources from the Commander-in-Chief. That brings me to the second point, which is the Sapo National Park. I guess the final one. And as you know, and you may be aware now, the Sapo National Park which is one of our national treasury. Yeah, it's our national reserve for a long time. We all know about the Sapo National Park. That park is so unique that we have hippo. I'm talking about hippopotamus. We have chips, chimpanzee. We have forest elephant. We have rainforestation. Our rainforest in the Sapo National Park is among the best or largest in our part of West Africa. It's so good and unique. We have different species of birds and animals. So the park is so unique that the DA, along with the government of Liberia, actually, they have actually the laws that created the park actually prohibited hunting. There's no hunting in the Sapo National Park. No fishing, no lodging or settlement. There's no mining has been in the Sapo National Park. But everything changed, times have changed. We woke up and realized that the Sapo National Park was invaded. We got cartels taken over by gangs, and illegal squatters were at the Sapo National Park. The illegal squatters were actually carrying on illegal mineral extraction. That's what they did. Then the park was almost like a full-scale gold rush, and everybody like trying to mine gold illegally and trying to take away our natural reserve, including our endangered species. Then the situation became so insecure that it overwhelmed, especially our forest ranger. They can no longer handle the situation. So the CRC got involved, the president got involved, and he asked the military to be deployed. Let me let you know that the AFL was deployed at the Sapo National Park in July. And when we deployed there, the park has 13 camps. 13 camps. Each of those camps got leadership. The camps, they have their own form of regime. The camp, one camp alone has about 10,000 or more than 10,000 occupants, illegal occupants in the camp. And a lot of illegal activities on their camp. The camp are so remote that you gotta walk on foot to get to the park. That's how remote it is. But the illegal squatter created 13 camp. And for our calling purposes, we could call Camp 1 as Camp Alpha, Bravo and Charlie. That's how we call the camps. At Banana, the AFL has declared Camp Alpha. Camp Alpha was the epicenter of all the camps. Because Camp Alpha was the trading center, is where they traded their illegal commodity, is where they come for leisure, is where all of their leaders go. So Camp Alpha was the primary camp that we have declared Camp Alpha. We have moved on to Camp Bravo and Charlie. AFL is moving on there now. And we have dislodged the illegal squatters. We also disbanded the camps. The camps are all disbanded. So I speak to you now, senators returning to the Sapo National Park because the AFL actually has set up the major 3 entry points. One of these entry points is from River G, another entry point from San Jose that hosts more major portion of the park, and then Grand Julia also. You know, the Sapo National Parks has our mountains, the Putu Mountains in Sapo National Park, the Sano River, all of our natural reserves are in our park. So we're going to ensure that park is kept safe and secure. That's what we're doing in the Armed Forces of Liberia. I think I've exhausted almost all. Of the briefing for now, and I'll wait for your questions and answers. Thank you.
So, just listening to Dr. Agustin T. Larmin, Deputy Minister for Administration and the National Defense. So next is questions and answers by journalists.
From the Ministry of Defense, so you're only asking open a question. Ask question and answer it far away.
Please come. Please be very brief.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. My name is Desmond William and I report for Democracy Watch newspaper.
Thanks to Dr. Augustine T. Larmin for that presentation. My attention has been drawn to the Guardians Tour, or better still, the Operation True Guardians. You know, normally, as many Liberians live with this perception, I don't want to say it's a belief, that the soldiers belong in the barrack. So now that the soldiers are coming, communities, touring the various counties, Liberians are somehow reacting that this could somehow instill fear, making some citizens live with extreme fear in a civilized society. For whatever reason best known to the AFLs, they are all in the various communities, touring our brothers, our mothers, our youth, are creating the state of paranoia, extreme fear as to what could be the cause that the AFL that we expect to be at the barracks are now coming to live among us like civilians. So just to follow up to that, the AFL will also deploy at the park in June. For how long will they keep that operation at the park? And my second concern to the government spokesperson, it is important that the ministry noted from the just released report from the special committee that was set up by the president of Liberia, specifically to the ethical transgression that was outlined by the report, leveraging on journalist Franklin Dolokuli. Is the ministry also taking into account, or does the ministry also welcome the part of the report that talks about the minister violating Chapter 9 of the Penal Law of Liberia, that talks about executive overreach of power? And does the ministry also take into conclusion the violation of Article 15 that was stipulated into the report that was violated by the ministry, that talks about press freedom? Thank you.
Thanks. My name is David K. Bien. I report for Royal TV Liberia. Thanks to Honorable Augustine T. Larmin. Honorable Augustine T. Larmin, you spoke about AFL being deployed at the Sabo National Park. Is the government having any plan, or there are plans in cover for developing a park instead of just deploying AFL? Just in case, to develop the park, at least that when tourists come from all of the country, they can be able to visit and see some of our natural phenomena.
You know that. Next person.
I'm Joseph Sally, and I report for Lata FM and TV. To the Deputy Minister, there are a lot of concerns from members of the Armed Forces of Liberia, to be more precise, the officers, when it comes to issues relating to officers' welfare, salary increasement. And here you are giving another opportunity, which is good to Liberians who have desire in joining the force for good. How are there plans by the ministry in terms of increasing salaries of and with the welfare and benefit of these officers? And B, to that question, can you give us the present number strength when it comes to the Armed Forces of Liberia? We want to know. And to the Deputy Minister, the issue of misinformation and disinformation is so concerning to many Liberians. Last night, there were a lot of Facebook posts from well-known politicians on the MRU, the Manuel Union, responding to you, and we did a fast check on that, and we noticed that it was misleading. We also wrote a WhatsApp message to Madam Mandina Nwise. What is the government stand when it comes to misinformation and this? That the MRU secretary responded to you by a news outlet. So from a news outlet from the diaspora called the Diaspora Alarm. So what is the government stand when it comes to the issue of misinformation and disinformation?
My name is Joseph Salif, and I report for ABC Radio and TV. My first question goes to the Deputy for Administration. I want to know, is this or or standard procedure in the army that an army man is greater than a police officer? Because there's this, yes, what in the public that most people always say, you see, police people scared of army people. What's the relationship between the army and the police, and what are you guys doing to minimize this tension? Because there was a report, there was a situation where policemen, army men fighting. What's the current relationship between the army and the police? And to the government spokesperson, I want to know, a credible civil society actor who is Eddie Jawolo, who runs Nemo and Partner for Democratic Development, posted on his official Facebook page about a presidential villa being built in Lofa County since September 2024. I want to know, is there any presidential villa in Foya constructed by the government? If yes, it is a government project or the president project? Thank you.
Okay. My name is James Edward D. Whittam, and I read for the New Republic newspaper. My question is to Minister Daniel Sano. How many additional rural communities are expected to benefit from the ongoing electrification projects, and what is the government long-term plan for nationwide energy access?
Yes, so
How many rural communities?
Yes, I expected to benefit from the ongoing electrification project, and what is the government long-term plan for nationwide energy access?
So the name is Prince Tuba, and I report for Spotlight Africa. My question goes to Dr. Larmin. During the presentation, you talk about security threat, especially when it comes to recruitment. Can you please tell us, the Liberian people, is this something the AFL is sensing, especially when it comes to internal or external security threat, for which you said that your target is about 5,000 people, because before you do recruitment, there should be based on security threat. So can you please tell what is in the pipeline?
Thank you.
And so my name is James Mbala, and I report for Radio Jordan Africa in Margibi County. Let me say my questions go to Dr. Lamini. Thank you so much for taking the stand to recruit more young people to join the AFL, that which is Yami for more Liberians. The question is, you want to recruit 650. You made mentions of recruitment 2 different times, 2021 and 2018. During this recruitment time, you cried for financial constraint. There are people who have been recruited that you do not have the time to recruit because of financial constraint. So now the question is, those who you were not able to train, but you recruited them at a time, are they going to be part of this 650 numbers?
Thank you.
Then the next, finally from there, the one has to do with the encroachment of barracks, like especially in Margibi County, Camp Jones. Camp Jones is enclosed with the Katahar barracks and other communities, the disabled people and other people around that place. Even the communities as we speak right now, what mechanism are you putting into place that you can reclaim the Camp Jones barrack from the hands of civilians?
Thank you.
So my name is Mopolu, and I report for Inside Liberia. Thank you to the AFL specifically. The Liberians have gained this admiration of your working, but I also want to use a means to understand that from you, Grand Jida County Representative Jacob Dabi has been crying in District 3 that the Burkina bees within the area causing threat for the lives of the people. And you being one of those person, fighting for your people, are you informed of this information? Are you working with the other authority in making sure that these people can be safe? Thank you.
I'm Larry STP, and I report for Bana FM. My question goes to the AFL, to be specific, Dr. Lamy. You talked about, yes? Yeah, okay, thank you for the correction. The Ministry of National Defense, thank you. You talk about border patrol and that of cleaning of the Sapo National Park, and you talk about some of the things you achieve, which you talk about removing the people and even cleaning some of the illegal activities they were involved with. My concern is the outcome since they were involved? Some of the people were involved with illegal activities. What action did he just take them from there, or are they going through legal process? Thank you.
So thank you, Juarez Yimpan, and a report for DNS Liberia. Our question goes to Minister Sando. On yesterday, you commented on one of Liberia's civil society actor, Eli Jahuro, and here is what you wrote. My understanding is that the project is an MRU funded initiative. It is being hosted in Foya, Lofa County, due to the geographical suitability of the area. In short, they chose Foya because of its connection to Guinea and Sierra Leone. Can you reference a source that coincides with your understanding as to the presidential villa that has been built in Foya? What's a source to this, or to why you commented on Chaolo post?
Thank you. So thank you. My name is Francis Cole, and I report for Wiz TV. So my question goes, Wiz TV. Wiz TV.
The one you asked yesterday.
Yes. And my question goes to the Ministry of Defense.
The audible, sir.
Yes. Are there plans to ensure or increase women participation in the AFL recruitment? And what initiative will implement to support their integration? Thank you.
Thank you. Women participation, yes.
I am Gabriel Biwachino, and I report for Ansan Media Network. I want to ask Honorable Larmin.
What are you there for?
Is there a channel that a common citizen that lives in a community when army man can use to report an army man if he or she feels intimidated or right being violated? Because I have seen an army man beating and stabbing someone's neck because he passed in a yard, he didn't speak to them, and they
what, sir?
And the army man said, I will beat you and nothing can come, or I'm an army man, I can go to the police station. Are there channels that a common citizen can get a report, and what would be the step taken? Thank you.
Can you write a story on it? Please come.
Good afternoon. My name is O'Neill Phillips. I write for the New Liberia newspaper. I have two questions for the Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense, like you said, you're doing some patrol around the country, and also we know the military to be on the high sea. What role is the military playing in ensuring the fight against drugs in the country? Some people come with drugs along the coast. They will just learn from the Banjo Beach. What role is the military playing to ensure that the sea coast, will not be used by illegal drug traffickers to bring drugs to the country? And my last question is, recently, the last recruitment, the army, later on we saw some professionals like
Well, thank you for all the questions. And if I don't get your question clear and correctly, you can please remind me, because the numerous questions over here. So, but I will make sure that I go over them verbatim. So I'll firstly start with the most recent one. That has to do with recruitment, most especially of professional people. Thank you for that question. Just to let you know that about now we are recruiting doctors for our 40 military hospitals. We're currently recruiting doctors. These are professional people. So the recruitment is a comprehensive package. So doctors have been recruited, but now we're trying to get up to 15 doctors for our 14 military hospitals. We also want to recruit professionals for the diagnostic laboratories. We have a laboratory that's being constructed now, and we're hoping that by the middle of next year it's going to be in full operation. We're going to recruit professionals for that one. So the recruitment is a comprehensive package, and like I said, we're already recruiting doctors right now as a speak. Only question regarding the draw and our patrol on the sea. Yeah, that's an excellent question. It is indeed true that we got a Coast Guard to patrol our waters. As we speak, I will inform you that he's right that most of the drug come through the sea or the coast, wherever we call it, through river trafficking. Our Coast Guard are right now along the Kavala River. They are patrolling as I speak to you. So our Coast Guard are on a hands-on approach when it comes to protecting our territorial waters. That's what the Coast Guard responsibility. That's what the Coast Guard does. So the Coast Guard is trying to ensure that the rule of law at sea is protected. Not only drug issue, but the Coast Guard is also engaged in preventing deep sea fishing. It's engaged in preventing terrorism at sea, piracy at sea. That's what the Coast Guard is doing. So we are doing that with the requisite resources that we got now. We're doing that. And if you ask the maritime, if you ask NAFA, if you ask the Port Management, they won't let you know that yet. I mean, the Liberian Coast Guard patrol the territorial waters. But let me inform you that the water is so big. You know the ocean, right? It's huge. It's a huge bit of mine. But that's a challenge for us, and we ensure that we protect it with our feet. That's what we're doing with the natural resources we have. So yes, indeed, the Coast Guard is doing that, and we're fighting in the line of drug. And just to add on, because another question came in earlier on the same drug issue, that is how we have it. You know, our troop patrol, for example, that will tie into another question too. Our troop patrol is because they're patrolling to give you a sense of reassurance of security. How can we protect you if we don't know the community you live in? So the troop patrol, they patrol out. Because you know, criminals use the forest as safe haven. So when you see her in your community, not that within your community are meant to infringe upon you, no. Because the criminal live among us. Then some communities, especially the forest, that our troop patrolling, these forests are being considered as safe haven for criminals, for cartels, for gangs. So we gotta ensure our troop patrol, they foot on ground and say, yeah, the AFS is around, I'm not saying, I know there was noise in there. The place was noisy earlier on, about 2 days ago, but when the AFL passes by and everything is calm, that's the essence of our patrol. To give you the reassurance of security, restore the hope of the citizen. And you see 90% of our patrol, you see civilians lining up, welcoming the soil. What does that tell you? It tells you that the citizen embrace the troop. They've been yearning for it. So the citizen been yearning for it, and that's what we do it too. And you can see the support from our citizens as we do. Okay, there's another question that has to do with the women participation, female participation in our own armed forces, owing to the fact that we've had like 2 successive recruitment. Yeah, it's true. As a matter of fact, we have a general quota to meet. Our general quota is 20%, and we're hoping by 2028 we probably reach the 25%. And that's been provided by the UN. That's our quota. And we hope to reach that quota. Now, all we need is to develop a strategy. If you want to ask me, what's our strategy to attract females to the military? For example, I mean, you all know Liberia, we have a strength. Our strength in the military is we have produced a female general who has become the first female Minister of Defense. She's going to lead that campaign. And she always said it. I mean, I'm not going to be the last. I will produce more female generals and more female defense ministers. So she's going to head that campaign. So it's on us and on our shoulders. So we are even more concerned about gender than you do. Because we got a gender cap here on our head. Because our ministers are female, and she's going to ensure that's implemented at all levels. The Burkina Faso issue. Yeah, it is true that we all know that we have Burkina Faso, 2,000, thousands of them. They are all around, like the story mentioned gradually. That's just isolated, but there are a lot of instances all around. But it's a national security issue, and the joint security has been handling that. I mean, the first issue is already here. What do we do with it? The joint security is trying to handle that. And as a matter of fact, the joint security has a procedure or strategy to approach the Burkina Faso issue. Because a lot of issues tie into that. The only thing we're doing now is our role as a military is to prevent further, not incursion, but further influx into our country. That's what we're doing. That's why I told you earlier that the Coast Guard is right now at Kavala River, the patrolling. They are at the Sana River, the patrol. They are our very border posts to see how we can reduce the influx. But when they are here, the influx, like I said, the national security is handling that on the joint security issue, as far as the concern with the Burkina Faso issue. And another question, the hinges on, which was about salary. Yes, it's indeed true that if we hire people, we have to pay them well. And we have to take care of them, they and their family. One of the challenges we have at our ministry that other agencies don't have is that we don't just control just a 5 soldier. Let's say we recruit 5 soldiers. You multiply the 5 by 10. Because the 5 soldiers, we take care of the family, the wife, the kids, what they eat, where they live, which hospital they go to. We're responsible for them exclusively. So that's our challenge, just what we have. That's why the Ministry of Defense is so strategic and technical. You won't know it when you're not in it. Because you know you're not just like this information ministry, employee come and get their salary gone. They take care of their own family. But we take care of the soldier from head to toe. That's what we do. That's our job. So the salary issue, the CIC, the Commander-in-Chief actually, and allotted some money this January before the Armed Forces Day, and the soldier received proportional increment. Proportional increment after a period of maybe 4 or 5 years. That was the first time we've done it. Proportional increment. So it's going to be increased gradually when we get the money. But you all are aware of the national budget. Our budget, we have a shoestring budget. That's how it is. I mean, so like in the middle of the river, you want more money, but you can't get more. Because you're competing with an institution and agency. But let me let you know that what we received has been used appropriately and has been implemented well, and so you have received implement recently in January. So we hope that with the mandate of the Commander-in-Chief, as we do it all the time, we hope to do it again. Like I said, the soldier will receive increment as long as the Commander-in-Chief has given that mandate and the Finance Ministry can allot the funding. Let's not forget, legislature too is very important, especially the House Committee on Security, headed by Senator Momo Sarah. He's very campaigning for us. And I must admit here that he's trying to gather the resources, a lot of ways fully, that will have the funding ready to increase the soldier salary. On the issue about strength, actually, let me get the record straight. You see, military strength all around the world is based on a policy. For Liberia, is based on our national security strategy. Our national security strategy aligns surely to our defense strategy and our military strategy. So the military and defense strategy, they all bring child the national security strategy. So what these strategies do is that they provide a threshold that we should recruit. Because it's in the strategy that determine, okay, based on this, we're going to recruit this, we're going to recruit that way, we're going to take this number of people. So our recruitment is being informed by our national security strategy, because the strategy set the threshold, and we're recruiting based on that threshold. All we needed to do is to have the CIC approval and mandate, which we have gotten. That is, approval means resources availability. I give you an example. Prior to the war, Liberia was like 3.5 million people. We had 5,000 soldiers. That's our troop strength at the time. Fast forward now, after the war, our strategy now depending on that level of troop. So to tell you offhand how many troops we got is on a need-to-know basis. But the only thing we inform you what we're from the recruitment to is that both of the soldiers we got, a portion of them are professional. They are doctors, they are nurses. We have some of them that are band members. Some are retiring because military aging. Again, their attrition rates, some are leaving for very reason. So if you put all these factors together, tells you that yeah, we need to recruit. So we do the math and tell you this is what we need to recruit, and we'll make sure our recruitment aligns with our military strategy, defense strategy, and our national security strategy, which is the overall strategy. The next question. The next question is about due process. That is, you in your community and AFL press on you. That's the question, right? I hope I got it correct. I mean, AFL, we are human. We are all human. The soldier knows that. And a soldier will have moral responsibility being a soldier. So we have due process. Due process. We have provost marshal. So soldier can be tried, yes. But if they do something that you know of, you just bring it over to the authority. And we have taken action on series of occasions. In fact, the actions have been communicated to the press. That's what we do. So anytime you heard that, anytime maybe you know somebody that done something, please bring it. But if it doesn't come forward, I mean, we cannot act. You know, sometimes things you control will happen, but how you respond to them? Things you can't control, they're always going to happen. But how you respond to them? But let me let you know that the military, that things will not happen. Yes, of course, things happen every day. But we respond to these things appropriately and accordingly, as far as our law provides. That's what we do. So we do that all the time. But unless we let us know, once we don't know, so we can't respond to it. It's still alleged until it's been proven. So rest assured that there is due process in the military as long as there is due process in the civilian war. You have heard that soldiers have been discharged, dishonorable sometimes for these kind of cases. So I think once you bring it to our attention, we'll try to take action against them. And then this brings us to the next question about Kim Jones and incursion, right? Incursion on Kim Jones and the citizens. As far as we know, at the Ministry of Defense, the AFL deployed Kim Jones. If the citizens have brought complaint, yes, we're looking at even sample it, but these are issues that have been under discussion. You know, the facility and installation we own them for a long time. We've been owning them for a long haul. And there have been squatters always encroaching on our property. And let me let you know, let me warn you, that's the military property. If anybody sold to you, before you buy it, please come to your adjoining party. If they say, oh, this is where the soil land stop, come to the soil and say, okay, Ministry of Defense, they say where your land stop. But some people go on there and buy the property, knowing for the way that there is a military facility adjoining the property. Without recognizing the fact that you have to consult the Ministry of Defense before even buying from yourself, but they don't do it. They just go in and at the end of it, all we have, they just encroachment our property. And that's not good enough. So we're quite aware of some situations that the citizens have brought to us, and the Minister of Defense, she's looking at it, and we have had a series of meetings with them. We're trying to amicably resolve it. That's what we do in most cases. And you heard that, and let's have invited on series of occasions. All we do is we amicably resolve it. Look, we are just serving you. We are protecting your assets. These are taxpayer money. The money you pay taxes with, that was the body's property for the military. You want somebody going there illegally squatting and living on there free. That's not going to be fair to you and your resources you earn. That's not fair to you. And the next question that has to do with, what's it? Is it clearing or what? What? Oh, yeah. It's coming and trying to get it. You know. Okay. Sorry that I got to put my note ticker to see the questions you asked. So these are all excellent questions, by the way. So the issue that has to do with the fear of the military being, I think I've addressed that already, but you need to understand here. The military will have to patrol. In order to protect our borders and keep you safe, we have to patrol. And I think that patrol has been appreciated by the citizens more than not being appreciated the other way. The citizens welcome the patrol. So we're going to continue our patrol. So the issue of Sapo National Park, how long we're going to be on there? We have a mandate, and our mandate is to clear the park. Dislodge the illegal squatters, illegal occupants, dislodge them, and disband all the camps and move them away. That's our mandate. How long we want to stay there for? As long as the mandate provides, we want to stay there. What we're going to do afterward, what the government will do tourism, that is not part of our responsibility. I think the information minister here, he can answer that. It's so good about tourism. So he's right here. You can ask the tourism people. They control the tourism in document. But all we tell you is our mandate is to clear the park. And what we're going to do, yes. We're going to train forest ranger, yes. At least increase the capacity of the forest ranger. That's what we're going to do. That is a good thing we can do. But the rest of it, the resource generation, bringing the park back, today's recruitment, that falls under Information Ministry and Tourism. And the FDA, of course. So they're going to take care of that. Our mandate is strict. We clear the park, and that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're doing right now. And we're going to clear it. Okay, the issue of our relationship with the Liberia National Police. This has been around for a while now, and it's not only unique to Liberia, but I'll tell you why. The police and the military, we have a very cordial relationship. We have a relationship because we work on the National Security Council. We engage similar missions. We have similar priorities. We have similar threats. We're doing the same thing, but just in different version. So that's why you see the Chief of Staff, Major General Jerison Follett, and Governor Kobo, they're bullies. The Minister of Defense and the Minister of Justice, they're bullies. And I mean, the friends, they talk to me. So we go to a meeting almost every week. We go to National Security Council meeting and we go to National Security meeting. So we coordinate well. Very well. We have a very cordial relationship. So let nobody tell you that, the police and the military, they don't have a good relationship. That's a lie. But there are isolated cases, like I told you earlier on. I mean, these cases, they always happen. And it's not only unique to Liberia. It's all around the world. I mean, you find individuals. You take the uniform off, just say individual. I mean, because it's not that the military or the police sanction and safeguard their action. No. We didn't. But they're individuals using their emotions. So if the emotion get them to do something, you can't blame it on the military or the police. No, these are isolated cases. So please, I will beg the press. I mean, this time around, please make sure these are individuals. They are people. They are acting like individuals, not representing the AFL or the Liberia National Police. Because we have a cordial relationship, we have an institutional relationship that we all support. And we go to meeting every day. That's what I'm telling you. Because we are all in the same boat. National security. That's what we do. We're all in the same boat to protect you. That's what we do. Okay, another question regarding security threats. That's the final one, right? Huh? Yes. Okay, that's the final question now. Okay. The final question regarding security threat, like I said earlier, no, we're not recruiting because there are enormous, quote unquote, that somebody mentioned security threat. No, we recruit based on our threshold, on our mandate, and our policy. That's how we recruit. So our recruitment is based on our strategy. To say we have a threshold to meet, and we got to meet that threshold. So each time we go low on the threshold, like lower number, we increase our number. That's how we recruit. That's it. So I'll stop here. I know there's no follow up, and then I'm told it just last question, right? This last question, so I'll stop here, and my media guy, the Assistant Minister of Public Affairs, and turn the floor over to him.
Let me say a special thank you to the Deputy Minister for Administration. I'd like to stand on existing protocol to say congratulations to the new members of the media as you celebrate your 61st anniversary. I think you see me wearing my cap to tell you that personally, I also do identify with the media. Let me greet the MICAT leadership here. I'd like to say thanks for the opportunity. So my boss has already stated a lot. I'm not going to reinvent the wheels. I'd just like to add one or two things as we wrap up this press conference. A lot of you are concerned about females' participation in the armed forces of Liberia. And I'd just like to add that as we speak, in addition to what the Deputy Minister of Administration just told you, that the Minister herself is going to lead the charge in encouraging females. As we speak right now within the AFL, we have a 22-year-old soldier, 22 years old soldier, a female. She's a sailor from the Coast Guard section. She has been sent out of the country for 5 years, started at the NDS. The NDS is the Nigeria Defense School. So to tell you that we prioritize females' participation, it's not that we are giving them preferential treatment, but we are also working towards reaching our quota, like you heard the minister say. I also want to let you know that with the issue of citizens' encroachment on military installations, my boss spoke very well about that. But just to add that we will be very shortly, hopefully before the end of this year, ensuring that we remove those who are squatting on our military facilities, specifically the 72nd Military Barracks. If that is a breaking news, let me break this news to you, that we are going to remove those who are squatting on our military barracks at the 72nd in Painesville, the 72nd Barracks. I also want to let you know, someone asked that the military should be in the barracks. You should not see the military outside like non-citizens or private citizens. But just to also let you know that we are not just confined, we are not just stationed to the barracks. We have what we call the civil military relations. So sometimes you see the military come out. I know some of you here, I try to see some of the old faces. I know that there are some young journalists or emerging journalists. But if you recall, there were times in this country, most recently, where you had the military outside and we were involved in rural rehabilitation. I don't know how many of you remember that. We were facing silence. So the country's military, when you hear that the AFL is a force for good, it's not that we are only noted, or our soldiers are only noted for holding guns. You know, sometimes we hear, we see some of the jokes around that our soldiers, we're not going to war, and then when we have a march and things like that, you know, we hear all these kind of jokes, right? I know sometimes they are just meant for the fun. But to tell you that our men are not only trained for battlefield readiness, but we are also contributing to the development of the country in terms of health, in terms of education. I don't know how many of you know that we have a school system. The area has a school system where we have 5 schools and we provide education. So I thought to let you know that moving forward, do not only see the military as an institution that is to be confined within our barracks, because we have civil military relations. And we had a mudslide situation in Riverside, the mining situation where some of our compatriots were mining and then the mud fell on them, the military went there. When we had the flood situation in Riverside, the ITI area, I don't know how many of you as journalists remember that situation. We went there under the Operation Blue Sky. So we are not only noted, and that's why Liberians continue to be proud of the military. So I thought to say that finally, before I step down your podium, I want to encourage all of you journalists and media houses to continue to listen up. We've spoken a lot about the recruitment. It's going to start February, but you're going to be hearing jingles and announcements as of October begins tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the 1st. So as of October, most of these pieces of information that you think you want to know about the recruitment, you're going to hear them through jingles and advertisements, and there'll be radio talk shows across other media institutions. We understand that a lot of you want us to come to your platforms. We are receiving requests to appear on the radio, but like my boss said, and the Deputy Minister here at Information also integrated that our job, we are not really in the press like that. You know, those of you who know me will know that I love talking, but I found myself in a place that you can't just talk. You know, it's a military institution, so bear with us. We will reach out when it's necessary. I just want to thank you and say again congratulations on your 61st, on our 61st anniversary. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Amen. What is the king? Considering that. Thank you, Dr. Augustine Larmin. Thank you very much. Your presentation was very detailed. Pamela, yes, sir. Do you have any refreshment for the media people? Today is the 61st.
I'm taking out the family town while we're waiting the president.
Wow. So you have a family. Let me just briefly say, all those who ask me questions about Facebook interaction, this is an official platform of the government. What we have to see for the government, they will say. Okay, so we'll not bring Facebook interaction here. Joseph asked me about misinformation. Disinformation is a problem that we have as a country, and the other day we announced that following the conference we attended in Cape Verde, we are developing a concept as a ministry, working with civil society actors to create a response center, a national response center for misinformation and disinformation. But it's something that we take very seriously. Desmond asked about whether we agree with the part of the PEL report that says that the minister violated. He said, which provision of the Constitution? Did you put the penal law? I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the law is. But what I do know is that what I do know is that the incident as enumerated in the findings of the report does not indicate anything about executive overreach. It doesn't. They both all agree. Desmond Katmahal interviewed me. We'll do audio recording. You come, you start to do video report. I said, no, that's not an agreement. So the ministers were allowed to record in and do whatever you want to do with the video and come back to Moreover and say, oh, the PUL didn't record it. So you get the minister was not appropriately dressed. The video would have been made public. So to ask the man to use the video from your phone is no executive overreach. So while we commend the PUL for swiftly taking siege of the matter, commend the leadership, we also do not agree with everything they say. Yeah, I want to be clear on that. We do not agree with everything they say. There's no executive overreach, there's no abuse of power. Of course, there's no abuse of power. The fact that the media institution reported that Minister Pia assaulted this journalist and the investigation by the parent body of all media people in the country has proven there was no semblance of assault or whatsoever. We're now expecting the two media entities to issue an apology to the minister. That will help to improve the sanctity between the media
and the government. When you heard, I know Republic of Africa has issued on the Raton Service occasion. You see that the reporter misled and they issued an apology. Yeah. So OK FM and the same from Republic of Africa are not above the law. You said the man assaulted your reporter. The report said the man did not assault the reporter. So they have to apologize. Thank you. I hope you get ready to win the airport.
So that's it for today's press briefing here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today's MICAT Press Briefing was jointly addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, and Dr. Augustine T. Larmin, Deputy Minister for Administration at the National Defense. Honorable Sano spoke on a wide range of national issues related to government's ongoing initiatives aimed at battling the lives of its citizens, while Dr. Larmin presented on the following: upcoming Armed Forces of Liberia AFL recruitment exercise, renovation of the AFL barrack nationwide, broader patrol in Bomi County, Babolo County, and Grand Cape counties on Operation True Guarding and cleaning up the Sapo National Park. And Dr. Larmin were accompanied by the Assistant Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Honorable Oscar F. Molubar, and others. So, for those of you who've been following, I'd like to say thanks for following. Do join our Thursday for another edition of MICAT Press Briefing. Until then.